Welcome back to the Relaxing Ghost channel here on YouTube. Today we're going to be starting the pay-per-view collections. Going to be doing updated versions for a lot of the pay-per-view collections. Mostly the 98, 99, and a few more years. Gonna do updated versions. Been slacking a lot lately on the collection videos, so I'm gonna bring these back. I'm also gonna do a few years I haven't done because I haven't had them complete. So I hope you guys look forward to those. Let's get right into this, guys. This is one of the best years in WWE history. First up, we got the Royal Rumble 1998. And a lot of these include never before seen footage. This would be history in the making here. So we had a no DQ casket match for the WWF title. Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. And this would be pretty much the end of Shawn Michaels' career for 4.5 years. We had Stone Cold Steve Austin winning his second straight Royal Rumble match. There's a shot of the tape. And that's how the old home video logo used to look, with the block logo. Next up, we have No Way Out 98 in your house. So now the pay-per-views are themselves with in your house following. You could see there the block logo a bit better. And it is also the same on the tape. But this pay-per-view was decent. It featured an 8-man unsanctioned tag team match. Kane and Vader. And several other matches here. These all went about 3 hours. Then we had WrestleMania 14. Greatest extravaganza of all time. Austin, Tyson, and Michaels. And the tape has an error on it. It says WrestleMania 14 highlights, where it's the full pay-per-view. Where the copy I got with the Legacy collection does say WrestleMania 14, so I don't know if that's just a manufacturer's error or whatever, but this was a really good WrestleMania. You got Rocky Maivia versus Ken Shamrock, Triple H versus Owen Hart, Undertaker versus Kane, and Austin versus Michaels for the WWF Championship. This came with the Classic 5 of 98. Next up, Mayhem in Manchester. International event never before seen in the US. So this is going to be a part of another video you'll see maybe in a month or so with all the UK pay-per-views. And this was the last pay-per-view to use the old block logo. So the problem is, I want to do all these collection videos and I just don't have the time to watch a lot of the pay-per-views I haven't seen. Next up, Unforgiven 98. This would feature the first ever Inferno match between Taker and Kane. This was a really fun show here in I think Greensville or Charlotte or somewhere in there. Somewhere in the southern states there. We got Austin versus Dude Love. Again, this is some of the final In Your House pay-per-views. Instead of being In Your House Unforgiven, it's Unforgiven in Your House. No big deal. We also had Taker versus Kane, like I mentioned. Triple H versus Owen Hart, the first ever evening gown match. New Age Outlaws versus LOD, 6-man tag team war with Farouk versus The Nation. One of my favorites, Over the Edge. Most controversial match of the year. Love that cover. That's one of my favorite pay-per-view covers. So we also had The Rock versus Farouk. And here we had a guest referee, timekeeper, ring announcer. It was all against Austin. We got DX versus The Nation. Also had Vader versus Kane. Again, Vader versus Kane. This is towards the end of Vader's run there in WWE. And, you know, I think they kind of buried him towards this time. One of the most iconic events ever. King of the Ring 98. Awesome artwork. I always loved the way they packaged their pay-per-views back then. You got your poster artwork mixed with your, you know, kind of snapshot. I always loved that. King of the Ring was always one of my favorite shows. It's featured the infamous Hell in a Cell match, Undertaker and Mankind, and the first blood match, Kane versus Stone Cold. We also got NWA tag title match. The King of the Ring finals here with Shamrock versus The Rock. X-Pac versus Owen Hart. We had Too Cool versus Head and Al Snow. Jerry Lawler, the ref. It's awesome. And we got Fully Loaded 98 again, another one of my favorites. See, you got the poster artwork and then your picture from the show. So 1998, they were breaking records. They ended WCW's streak. This one featured a skin-to-win bikini contest. Hello. Look at Jerry Lawler. This was, I think this was before the puppies phase, but Jerry Lawler was going crazy. Kane and Mankind versus Austin and Taker for the tag titles. Triple H versus The Rock, 2 out of 3 falls for the IC title. Scorpio and Farouk versus Terry Funk and Bradshaw. This is where Funk announces his retirement and Bradshaw turns heel. So they were working with ECW still at this point. Val Venus versus Double J. X-Pac versus D'Lo. Vader versus Mark Henry. Battle of the Bulls. We also had a dungeon match. Shamrock versus Owen Hart. Yeah, that happened. And I have reviewed all these in full, so check out the Attitude Era review series. SummerSlam 98, Highway to Hell. One of my favorite covers ever. Really cool. You got Austin versus Taker. Epic. The old SummerSlam Block S. This one had the IC title ladder match. Mankind and Kane versus the Outlaws. D'Lo Brown versus Val Venus. You also had Sable and Edge versus Jacqueline and Mark Miro. The Lion's Den match. Hair versus hair. They were just putting everything out there, and it was working. Breakdown in your house. Triple Threat Championship match. This is a cool cover here. Again, you got your poster artwork and then your snapshot. I love this. This reminded me of Owen Hart, this pay-per-view logo. So we had a real weird steel cage here. We got Big Blue with the new kind of top to it that they would put on top of the mesh cage. Rock, Shamrock, and Mankind in a 3-way number 1 contender match. This is one of the last times they used Big Blue in the US. Vader versus Bradshaw. I didn't realize Vader was around this long. We have Edge versus Owen Hart. This is where Christian makes his debut. And Austin, Taker, and Kane. This is where McMahon screws Austin out of the title. Judgment Day 98 in your house. This is a decent show. You had Mankind versus Shamrock. The Rock versus Mark Henry. D'Lo versus X-Pac. Taka Michinoku versus Christian. And Kane versus The Undertaker. Decent event. Not one of my favorites. And then Survivor Series logo. awesome. The Deadly Games tournament. I know this is a favorite of a lot of people. Love that classic Survivor Series logo. This is where The Rock would become one of the youngest WWE champions, last beating Mankind, and they would go on a really good feud there for the rest of 98 and into 99. We had Austin there versus the Big Boss Man, Taker and Kane going at it. Triple threat tag title match. Sable and Jacqueline for the women's title. It's a pretty notable show there. Last two here. Capital Carnage, again, never before seen in North America. It's got to be one of my favorite spines. Really cool. Featured The Rock in his first defense as champion versus X-Pac. Fatal 4-way match. You have Edge versus Gangrel versus Al Snow. Shamrock versus Blackman. Triple H versus Double J. The Outlaws versus Mark Henry and D'Lo. We also had a mixed tag. So a really cool pay-per-view. I'm definitely going to be looking into watching that one. And finally, Rock Bottom in your house. The Rock had a pay-per-view just for him. And similar to the year prior, they had DX in your house. So the next year in 98, the December pay-per-view is again. So this time around, Rock's the champ. He gets a pay-per-view named after him. And we got the Rock Bottom on the cover. Decent event, actually. So it'd feature The Rock versus Mankind. Once again, they've had, 4 or 5 pay-per-views in a row versus each other. If you don't count Capital Carnage. Yeah, about 4 matches against each other. We would have a Buried Alive, Austin versus Taker. Once again, they had a great feud throughout 98. Blackman versus Owen Hart. The Outlaws versus Bossman and Shamrock. Striptease. GD versus Double J. The Job Squad versus The Brood. Really good show overall. Decent, But overall, hope you enjoyed. We'll talk to you later. Peace.